Tom, just off the bat, what most disappointed you tonight?
That we didn't play for 48 minutes. And, the start of the second quarter, we didn't play well. We had a lead. Didn't play tough with the lead. Came out to start the third. Didn't play well there. You can't afford to do that.
Tom, when they have Drew Holiday on Cat, what ways can you take advantage of it, and why do you guys not?
Well, because you got Cornette on the backside coming on a double.
And Cat only has 2 3-pointers for this whole series. Why has he had trouble getting off?
Well, they're staying with him. They're playing small, so they're up on him. And he was in foul trouble.
Tom, what did you see from Derek White in the first quarter that allowed him to kind of?
Yeah, he got space. He great shooter. Can't give him that type of space.
Tom, you talked about the way the guys came out at the start of the second, third quarter. I know you had warned this morning that you kind of expected what the Celtics were going to bring. Do you kind of feel like there was any let up of we're up 3-1?
Well, yeah, I knew the type of aggression that would be involved in this game, and so I think you got to understand that, and it's a battle on every possession.
Tom, start of the third quarter, they go on that run. You left your starters in for the first 8 and a half minutes of the period. Why did you decide to keep rolling with them? And
just searching.
Tom, OG's had a few rough shooting performances in this series. Just how much does that impact the offense when he has quiet nights like that?
Well, I think that the big thing is we got to get stops. Like the first half, we scored fine. And Cat was in foul trouble for a good chunk of it, and so. But we scored 59. That wasn't the issue. The issue was the defense. And then to start the third, we got in a hole. We were trying to get on track, but you got to get some stops so you can get into the open floor. And so I thought that probably hurt us as well.
Tom, I'm curious whether I think a lot of fans or just the average person from the outside looks in and says Tatum's not there. The way that a team maybe moves the ball without a star player there, how fundamentally different is it just to stay on top of things and to be mindful of the ball movement the way that a team can do that when someone's not there?
Well, it doesn't change stylistically, like in terms of they have a lot of shooting on the floor, so that's going to remain the same. And I think the thing about their team is they're a great defensive team as well. So we have to understand that we can't be slow getting back, and you can't give open shots to them. And so we got to be tougher with our closeouts and taking airspace away, and we got to be better with our communication.
Yeah, Tom, you mentioned it a little bit there. The issues picking up guys in transition, especially the threes they got off in transition. What do you think lead to that?
Yeah, and again, so I think it's twofold. I think it's the commitment to sprint back and then communicate to make sure that we understand what's going on, and we can't have any personal dilemmas of if you're missing a shot or it's not going well for you offensively, that you're jogging back. You got to sprint back, you got to communicate, and we got to be matched up. If one guy's slow, you're going to give him an open shot. You can't do that against this team.
Tom, the third quarter, they took 18 free throws. Did you think the game got called differently at all in that third?
Nah, it was one of those games. I mean, we had 40. They had a lot as well. So it's like it was a choppy game. But I think that was also reflective of the aggression. I think that you saw Josh's layup. Yeah, I knew it was going to be that type of game.
Kind of with that, Jalen had 5 of his 6 fouls in the third. Obviously, that's unique. But you started the fourth. Wasn't with that just trying to get a little bit of something going?
Yeah, I just felt like the game was like if we were going to have a chance, it was going to be right there.
Third quarter, the terrible offensively, defensively. So watch film and figure it out.
Was it a matter of keeping up the energy? Do you feel you had it?
The energy it just. We played terrible. That was from the top down. It was a terrible quarter.
Did you also feel that they were playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of maybe inspiration for Jason Tatum?
No, I mean we were up 3-1, or we were up 3-1, and this game could end their season. So obviously they're going to come out with unbelievable intensity and energy, no matter who's playing. So I don't think that was that's any added thing. I think they came out aggressive, and obviously they don't want their season to end. They're the defending champs. So yeah.
Josh, do you flush a loss like this as quickly as possible and just move forward to Game 6?
No, you don't flush it. You learn from it. You go watch film. You see where we messed up, and there was a lot of mess ups in terms of communication and execution. And so you don't flush it. You watch it. You learn from it, and you get better next game.
How important is it to get the W in this very next game at home?
I mean, that's just such a stupid question. I mean, every game that you want to win, bro. Like, there's no added anything. Like, every game you want to go out there and win. It doesn't matter where, if it's at home or away. That question is stupidity to me. Every game you go out there, you want to win. You want to compete at the highest level, and obviously we didn't do that. And next game's our next game, and that's all we're focusing on is getting a win.
Josh, why do you think the communication fluctuates so much?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could pinpoint it, because then if it did, we can address it. So I think that third quarter there was a lot of frustration, and that seeped into everything that we were doing. And we got to make sure we control what we can control, and that's our communication, that's our effort, that's our intensity, and let everything else fall by the wayside. I feel like that's not what we did today. And we got to, like I said, learn from it and execute and be better. Friday?
Josh, no one ever said.
Eyes peachy.
You have to get stitches?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Josh, no one ever said that clinching a series was easy and that this was going to be an easy series. So this is kind of what you expected, is it not?
For sure. Like I said, they're the defending champs. Like, you thought they were just going to, Jason Tatum went down. You thought they were just going to lay down? Nah. You knew they were going to come out swinging. They came out with extreme confidence like they do every game. They came out with aggression. And like I said, we didn't do enough in that first half to end the half right. And then that third quarter was just a failure.
What was so difficult about waging a comeback tonight, something you've been able to do throughout the series as a ball club?
I don't know. We just kept fighting, and they just kept going. We just can't keep putting ourselves in those situations, especially when it was close at half. Just got to do a better job of communicating on defense.
Did you feel their urgency? Did you match their urgency tonight?
No, we didn't get back on defense. Didn't communicate at all.
What will be your mindset heading back to the Garden with a chance to close out the series there?
Yeah, just got to play desperate. I don't think we did that. But yeah, we got to come out aggressive throughout the whole game.
Okay, what you see from the defense on Derek White that allowed him to get the open looks that he got?
Yeah, it's not communicating on defense, transition. It's not talking to one another. Pretty much that.
Mikhail, you get 6 in the first quarter and then 2 the rest of the game. What did you see after the first quarter, offensively for yourself?
I don't know. I think I just more us not getting stops. Pretty much just worrying about, just not getting stops out there.
How different are they of a team to guard when Tatum's out there versus Tatum not being out there and not being the focal point of their offense?
Yeah, they're a really good team, even without them. Like I said, we just didn't bring that fight and talk to each other defensively and give everybody confidence.
What was the frustration like in the third? You seemed like you didn't get the calls, and you have to get through that sometimes.
Yeah, nothing to do with the refs. We just didn't bring it defensively, and refs can't control how hard we play.
Considering the spot you were in, chance to send them home, is it concerning that you didn't have that fight and urgency that you had in Game 4?
I don't know. We just got to be better. We got another chance at it, and we got to bring the fight. We got to be aggressive. Can't let it happen like we did tonight.
Thibs was saying that when you guys aren't getting back on D, like if one guy is not getting back, that's what's causing the problems, picking up guys. Do you see that maybe just...
Yeah, it's part of it, but I think good amount of time. I mean, I got to watch the game, but pretty much I think everybody's back. We're just not communicating, and we're not taking a man. So I think we just got to do a better job communicating, and we just get them confidence.
What did you most tonight about the performance?
A lot. A lot. Just, I'm not even going to explain it. Just a lot.
Thibs talked about, Thibs talked about the transition defense and lack of communication. That's something that comes up, it feels like, every other game, every 2 games. Why do you think that fluctuates so much amongst this group?
I'm not sure why. It's just paying attention to details when it comes to preparing for games, making sure our heads are right, and we're locked in on a similar goal. And that's what we need in order to beat a team like this. It's a very good team, regardless of who's out there.
You guys are tied up at halftime. How did you think the team came out to start in the second half?
Not that good, obviously. 32-17 in the third, and they came out with a sense of urgency that we need.
Jalen, more about the third quarter. I mean, have you ever gotten 5 fouls in a quarter like that? And
5 fouls in 1 quarter?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say to that.
I mean, just how crazy was the quarter? I mean, I guess.
I'm not even going to say anything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jalen, that third, you guys obviously got off to a slow start there. The starters in the series, I know coming into tonight, the starters were minus 22 in the series. Why do you think it is that the starters have kind of struggled, not just necessarily in this series, but maybe comparatively to where you were at the start of the year in maybe the last month or 2 months or so?
As a group, you say we're minus 22?
Coming into tonight, you were minus 22 in this series.
In this series?
Yeah.
Well, first, let's talk about who we're playing. We're talking about the Celtics, defending champs, a team with a lot of experience, a team that just, obviously we've seen what they've been able to do over the past couple of years, obviously winning last year and what they've been able to do before that. So we're playing a really good team. And so obviously we don't want to be minus 22 coming into tonight, but we got to understand who we're facing, and we need to be better, flat out. That's what that means.
Jalen, we've talked about this on a few different occasions, but Cat only having 2 3-point attempts in this series, and some of it, I'd say a large part of it, is how they're guarding him. Are there ways to, as a collective, figure out ways to get that going? Is there ways that you guys have encouraged him to be more assertive in that way? How do you guys unlock that a little bit more consistently as a group?
I think as a group we need to obviously trust each other. I need to trust everyone out there, knowing when to attack and when to set the table. I think the biggest part of that is obviously knowing how they're defending and how can we attack that. And so if they're going to put a smaller guy on them, we need to feed him in the post. They haven't put a bigger guy on him. And so we need to attack accordingly. And him being aggressive gives us a great advantage.
Jalen, I'm curious, you were really candid with us after Game 3 saying that maybe it was kind of a subconscious thing about a satisfaction level. Is there any of that at all that happens or can happen just in light of Tatum's injury and just the Celtics are a great group, no questions asked, but as far as are they a little bit lesser of a group perception-wise, does that factor in at all? Is that something that the team thinks or feels at any point?
No, not at all. Yes, they're missing a big piece, but like I said before, they're a team, a well-oiled machine that has been in situations where they play without him, and they played well, and we need to understand that, and we need to, trust the game plan and play accordingly. It's that simple.
They won the game. Pretty simple. They made more plays than us and got more of the, we talk about those 50-50 balls. They did a better job of doing that, and they made the hustle plays. So simple as that. They won the game.
Was tonight about energy or execution or a little bit of both?
I think it's both. I think, we didn't execute like I always talk about at the level we need to, including myself, and I think that we just didn't make enough of those energy plays that we're usually making, especially in the second half, and it hurt us tonight.
Did you feel, their desperation, and you think, that has to be matched going forward now?
I mean, it should be known from the giddy up. So, unfortunate, disappointment tonight. But got to regroup, get ready for the next one.
How different are they to play against when Tatum's not out there and the offense isn't going through him as the primary?
They're defending champions, so obviously losing Tatum is a big blow for their team, but we know that they're more than capable of beating anyone any night. So we just didn't do enough to win tonight.
Cat, we know what your three-point weapon is. Only 2 made in this whole series. What's going on there? And it's a lot harder when somebody like Drew Holiday is guarding at the three-point line.
I haven't really been out there to really have the chance to shoot. We've just been trying to, we've been doing our game plan and just trying to execute at the highest level. So I've been trying to do most of my damage inside, and do whatever my team asks for me.
Kat, now you have an opportunity to go back home, close out a series in front of your home fans. How much do you embrace that opportunity?
It's. I would like to win a closeout game anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's home or away. I love our fans, but I know our fans would appreciate regardless if it was done on their road as much as it is at home. So I told you this since day one. It's about just winning every single game possible and putting yourselves in a position to win. And I think that's what's more disappointing is that tonight we didn't put ourselves in a position to win.
Well, why do you think Derek White was able to get so many clean looks at the three?
I got to watch the tape. I can't really say. They did a great job in transition and finding three-point shooters, but that's the only thing I can really talk about. I got to watch the tape.